Alright folks, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be discussing Gears 5. It's just had its last update and today we're going to discuss that. But first, can anybody else hear boss music? I don't know where that's coming from. I'm not quite sure. Hold on, there's definitely something, mate. Let me just go check. Let's begin. Let us begin the goddamn review. GGZII, make Gears great again. Okay, so first of all, we're going to go ahead and we're going to shift onto the YouTube page Gears of War, and we're going to check out what we've missed, because I haven't done one of these in a hot minute. I refuse to. I didn't want to give any airtime to my channel. But after having some consideration from the boys and girls on the channel, we've decided that it doesn't seem right to start Gears 5, go through all of this, and not complete it. We've got to finish it, haven't we? So, we've had a couple of operation drops. By now, you've seen the trailer. By now, you've seen that it's managed to garner a staggering, a monumental, a death-defying, an incredible 6,823 views in well over a month. There is a lot of desire and want for this kind of content, as you can see. So what this basically revealed was there was a new map based on a campaign area, and there was a couple new characters, and that was really it. There was the odd skin if you want to make Jack look like a purple robot. There was some more generic montage shots, as we've seen time and time again. And that was really it. And that was how Gears 5 faded out. The last update was a month ago. And if you went to the main Gears of War Twitter account with 382,400 followers, you would see that apart from bringing back OSOC, which apparently is news, that there also hasn't really been too much information. But there's not been much here. There's certainly no talk about updates. So, okay, let's check their second followed page, the Coalition Studio themselves, with 164,300 followers. And as we can see here, the last real tweet, which this was a comment on a video, the last real tweet was August the 24th, where the service update and there were ongoing server issues getting fixed by the looks of it. So there's nothing here either. But now if we dig a little deeper and we go onto their third page with 27,100 followers, you will now notice that there has been an update on October 20th. Now, this update is a big update because it's about tuning, and this is what everybody seems to think will save the game. And we're going to talk about it. Don't worry, we're going to get into it. And they chose to put this on the least followed page. As a result, it's really not been seen. You can only really find this if you're looking for it. It's certainly not on trending YouTube. It's certainly not on the Gears page. Microsoft themselves aren't retweeting it. Xbox aren't retweeting it. There's really not much going on here, that you have to find it yourself. So this is not going to grow the game in any capacity. Nobody even knows about it. But let's dive into it, because I think this is just brilliant. Now, let me just show you some facts, because that's how I like to speak. When you go to this link and you take a look at the poll they're running on their movement and tuning update, right? You will notice that it is garnered 1,900 views, 158 replies, and 203 likes, right? So these are all the people that have been discussing the tuning. Now, here's some facts and figures. Z who was incorrectly suspended through an abuse of power, I believe, on the forums / inside of the studio, who was falsely banned. Every single post is here available. There was simply no, quote, continued harassment. They wanted to get rid of me. My video where I uninstalled the game and explained the reasons why I've uninstalled the game and my ideas for change. We have 3,000 views, almost double the views, and 466 likes, almost... well, more than double the likes. So as a content creator that was banned, me leaving the franchise literally, factually garnered more interest, tweets, discussion than your final tuning update. Those are some facts. So let's break it down and let's have a look at what the tuning is. Right, guys, before we get into this tuning test, the big thing I want you to take away from this is the following. We're over 2 years into the launch of this game. The game has just had its last gameplay update, and here we are on a buried forum post trying to tune the game and give feedback for the game. Why? Why would anybody be wasting their time doing this? It doesn't make any sense. You've had 2 years and the whole of Gears 4 to come up with a working tuning, and we're still here. And the game's finished, and you're still asking your remaining players, hey, can you help us out by giving us some feedback on this tuning? I'll tell you what this is. They're not interested in your feedback. There might have been a few people back in the day in Gears 5 that were interested in your feedback. I don't think they are now one single bit. Do you, hand on heart, believe that if you go into this thread and you do a super detailed video and a super detailed comment and you play test the hell out of this tuning, do you think you'll be listened to and things will be changed or tweaked? No. What they're saying is, this is the final update. We're just pushing it to live to make sure nothing's completely broken. Like, oh, when I slide, my gun gets stuck and it's delayed for 800 milliseconds. There must be a bug. They're doing that kind of testing just before they put it into live, and then it will go into live. They're not interested in your feedback. This tuning will not save the game. There is no level of tuning that Gears 5 can produce that will do anything to impact the player base in any meaningful capacity. That's a fact. The reason people like Nick Merckx, Dr. Disrespect, Shroud, Ninja, all of the people that launched with Gears 5 and played Gears 5 as part of their event, the reason they have left is because the game lacks relevancy on any form of platform, Facebook gaming, Twitch, YouTube, streaming, wherever it may be, TikTok. You know, you don't have TikTok gun classes like you do with Warzone. The game lacks any relevancy, but some content creators will stick with it if the game is fun and there's depth to it and they enjoy it. You'll see, even though he might not be the biggest fan, Dr. Disrespect keeps coming back to Tarkov because it offers something different, right? When all these people, these 3 million people that launched with the game Gears 5 played it, it felt like a tired, dated, been there, done there, seen there, got the t-shirt franchise. And as a result, after a week of playing, after they'd done their marketing and they'd done their little job where they had to push the game and, you know, get some hype around it, they left because it wasn't that fun. And it certainly was utterly broken server-wise at launch. So the idea that the saving grace from the community will be this tuning change simply is just nonsensical. Again, there will be no tuning on the game Gears 5 that saves it. You could create the most perfect tuning where all current players are happy and your game will still be irrelevant. That is the state. These are not me bashing the game. This is me talking just factually. Just factually, that I've only said facts so far. Now, let's begin and let's have a chat about this. Because it's important, right? Maybe they do nail it. Let's have a look. So, on this forum post that you have to dig through and find, you're going to read, "Hey everyone, as you know, today we're trying out our tuning test at a large scale. And whilst we've been locking things down, we believe core mechanics and gameplay are at a healthy spot. We've also got a chance to tweak gameplay a bit further. As we move forward with our projects, our capacity to do massive overhauls need to step aside in favour of nudges that elevate gameplay in key specific aspects, which is what we're bringing with our versus event control. This tuning is also available in custom versus matches by selecting tuning test in the custom versus mode option screen. Below, you will find a breakdown of these changes. Okay, so I'm going to break down those opening 2 paragraphs. Here's what they're saying. Since the launch of Gears 5, TC and us have done a job where we pretend like we listen to you. For the 2+ years that this game has existed, that's right, 2+ years, we continually say that player feedback matters. Yet when anybody gives any relevant player feedback, they are ignored, shut down in developer streams, or at worst, suspended from the franchise. Those are factual things. We've all seen it before. Now, they're saying as we move forward with our projects, which means as we shift the fuck on from Gears, our capacity to do overhauls needs to step aside. As we shift on from leaving Gears, we have no capacity to work on this shit game. So what we're gonna focus on is nudges, little things that elevate gameplay. So what they're gonna do is tiny quick tweaks that will shut you up. Again, you might think I'm being harsh, over the top. No, I'm telling you how it is. You've got all these other streamers and YouTubers and shit saying this is brilliant. Let me be honest with you. You deserve honesty. Let me be honest with you. So here we go. It says reduce delays and improve fluidity of player movement. Now, how many times have we seen this before? Be honest. The game's been out 2 years, and I will say every developer stream, every update that I've seen in the game mentions movement. Someone's not happy. It's too fast. It's too slow. It's clunky. There's delays, etc. And they will go on and on. It says, right, we want a slightly higher initial slide speed, which means better chance to navigate through gnarly situations. Like all of this stuff, bro, you just stop. Like, who are you talking to? I want to know, who do they think the people are playing Gears 5? Maybe I'm so out of touch that I don't know. But who would ever say the word gnarly situations? Whoa, dude, that shotgun fight was gnarly. So when taking risks and making enemies miss their shots is key. So now there's a shorter delay between wall cancelling and shooting to compensate. Aim assist is disabled during that slide. If this is how you slay, precision and clear intent in the face of danger will bring you closer to victory. When we had the super fast Gears game that everybody, well, let's not say the word everybody because that's not true. When we had the super fast Gears game that I personally thought was a disaster and many people resonated with me, they slowly tried to get rid of it before certain developers were let go, they left or whatever, people moved on. We're now just going back to the speed. Because everyone's been thinking that the reason the game is dying is because of this movement change when it's simply not true. Now, they're saying all of this, right? Sounds cool, right? If you want fast movement, here we go. They're then disabling the aim assist when you wall cancel. Now, I remember a specific patch through Gears 5 where they did this, and the game was fucked. Like, when they were, magnetism was off, aim assist was off, and people were then wall cancelling and shooting through people, and it was all going a mess. So would it surprise you if that happened again? No. So into the movement updates, you know, you've got the slide speed increase by 15%. There's no real need for that because you can still cancel out of the slide, and I think the slide should be committed. You should have a fast committed slide rather than a pretty quick uncommitted slide. Decrease the time it takes to fire from a cover slide. So here's the thing, right? It's going from 0 milliseconds to adding the delay of 150 milliseconds, right? People were really upset that after they slid to cover, they could feel this 150 millisecond delay. I think it was massively overblown, and it's not the reason the game died in any capacity. The game was dead before this, but they've reduced it by 80 milliseconds down to 70. Now, the type of person that is noticing the 150 millisecond delay. He's probably the type of person to notice the 70 millisecond delay, but I agree, I don't think delays in video games feel fine. The reason for this is simple. A delay feels like something's gone wrong. You've pressed it and nothing's happened. This is not an animation that you're waiting to complete. This is not a game mechanic that you're waiting. It's sort of a back-end invisible system that's just making the game feel like it doesn't do what it's meant to do. So you would be okay waiting 150 milliseconds longer for your gun to finish reloading and see it visually on screen. But if you couldn't see that and your gun was, you were just waiting and then it appeared, you'd be like, what's going on? So it's important that delays and stuff are either visualized through gameplay or clear things rather than being hidden on the back end. They've now disabled aim assist from it being on to they're disabling it for 150 milliseconds after a cover cancel. Okay, next on the agenda is the ability to showcase individual skill, especially in Gnasher battles. Now, the funny thing about this is the following. We have had 2 years of this, and we had one singular patch, patch 4.11, that Node 0 created, where the gib range was super short. Shotgun fights were super interesting, and everyone that I knew played it so much. In fact, I played it so much, it was one of the only periods of time I actually didn't cover the balance or any videos because I was just playing the game because it was so fun. You had up close and personal shotgun fights, you had shotgun dancing, and also shotgun poke if you wanted to keep people red. So the idea that they're suddenly now focusing on Gnasher battles is just ridiculous. So here we go. It says, coupled with movement tweaks, Gnasher duels will feel fresher by turning 2-shot downs into a less common outcome. Capping damage at 85% outside of gib range means increased survival when you just took great damage, making it more likely you'll skillfully get out of harm's way when a stray few bullets would have taken you down. So the Gnasher update, the max damage before gib is now 510. So the maximum damage outside of the gib range is now 85% instead of 99%. Now, people are rejoicing at this, but I don't think they understand what's going on, or maybe I don't understand. You can tell me. What they're effectively saying on this line here is they're saying, look, instead of walking up and giving somebody 99 in 1, you're now going to do 85. But does anybody else remember that update where they effectively rounded up 83/85 into the 99? And it was just simply a visual change, like a UI visual change. And all of a sudden they were like, don't worry if you get 99 in 1. It's kind of the same as 85. It's just a different outlook. Now, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what value you pick for this change. People will still be pissed off because people don't understand, still to this day, how the game works. If you walk up to somebody, right, and you are outside of the range you need to be to one-shot them, aka gib, they won't die because you are outside of the one-shot range. It doesn't matter if it's 99, if it's 98, if it's 26, or if it's 57. You are outside of the gib range. You don't deserve the kill. You have miscalculated the distance from you and the player, and you have missed. And you get 99 in 1. You're going to have to shoot him again. You're going to have to melee him. He's going to go down. Get over it. Now, here's where it's funny, because they're saying that this is going to make 2-shot downs less common. And unless I'm just massively not understanding what they've done here, I don't see how this makes 1-shot downs less common. 2-shot downs less common. Because if you walk up and misjudge your gib range, and you do 85% damage, you only need to damage them 15%. Right? 15% you need to damage them. Now, how many Lancer bullets or how many shotgun pellets is it to do 15% of somebody's HP at sort of mid-range? So if you shoot somebody, right, from mid-ish range, land your pellets, and then walk in and misjudge the gib range, and then you do 85% of their HP, they're going to go down, right? Unless they're trying to say that when you step back, you're going to be doing 70% instead of 85, if that makes any sense. So instead of walking up and doing 99, stepping back, doing, say, 80, you're going to go right up to them, do 85, step back and do 70, 60. Then yes, 2-shot downs could be less common. But I want to ask you, what's the problem with a 2-shot down? Is this really what the game's come to? Is this really the player that is remaining in the franchise? And they wonder why the game is fucked. If you walk up to somebody in relatively close range with a shotgun and hard aim 2 cannon shots onto somebody, they will go down. There are many, many players like myself that are actually okay with a 1-shot down. It enables outplay potential. It's one of the reasons we can't have any shotgun depth in gameplays, because they refuse to accept these things. But okay, people are going to rejoice, even though the reality is 85% in 1 is going to become the new 99%, and people are still going to get pissed off. You know they are, because they don't understand the game. But let's continue. Damage curve adjusted to account for decreased base damage and to increase playmaking ability. Now, this is just vagary, complete vagary. Damage curve adjusted. I saw someone react to this and go, that's really good. What's really good? Damage curve adjusted to account for decreased base damage and to increase playmaking ability. Now, the damage curve being adjusted to basically account for decreased base damage sounds to me like the damage is going to ramp up, because they're accounting for the fact that there is a lower base damage, right? They then say that the pellet spread's going to increase by 5%. What? Is that the pellet spread increases by 5% globally? Is it when pop shotting, hip firing, hard aiming? And just to top it off, by the way, if you ever want to know just how ludicrous TC's balance approach is, they've increased the gib range by 2 inches. So is there any need to even talk about that? People that think the gib range is the problem in terms of it not being big enough, I'm sorry, you're stupid. You're not understanding. I always give this example. If my shotgun kills you from 100 yards away in one single shot, and your shotgun kills me in a single shot from 100 yards away, what are we both going to try and do? We're both going to try and get within 100 yards of each other. I might misjudge and be 98 yards away, and you might judge it and be 100 yards on the dot. I will shoot. I won't kill you. I'll do a lot of damage to you, and visually, you'll look like you're the same distance away from me, but you'll kill me. It doesn't matter if it's 100 yards, 80 yards, 500 yards. The big gib range will always cause a problem, because it's really hard to see visually in a fast-moving third-person game how far away you are for somebody, including FOV, right? It's hard to judge how perfectly every single time how far away from you. So the best solution is to have the gib range be so small that everybody knows on the map, right, my shotgun needs to be fucking stuck up this dude's ass, mate, and then it'll kill him. And then every single time you're in a fight, you're just thinking about moving yourself either out of the way of that shotgun up your ass, or you're pushing that guy and you're trying to get up close and personal. There's none of this guessing where 250, 225, 237 distance is. It's just my shotgun needs to be really close, and that's the best visual indication for both new and veteran players. So the summation here is this might be good, it might be bad, but it's a complete lack of clarity as always. And again, it's just a lack of seeming effort. They're just like, by the way, we've moved on for the game, so we're just going to do a few tweaks just to shut you up. They can't even do graphs. Remember, like Node, when we had Node Dana Octus, there would be graphs, there would be videos of before and afters, there'd be detailed breakdowns of the curves and the charts. None of that. Just damage curve adjusted, and that's it, you know. No examples of before and afters. No, go and play it. Do our job for us. You go and play it and test it. We're not going to show you. Next, it says improve the balance of loadout and precision weapons. Now, this is where everybody got mad excited, right? This is where everyone got mad excited in their patch notes. So basically, this whole section just says, we want the game to be super skilled, yield more sustained results. We want mid-range support to still be strong. We don't want to affect it. The goal is to encourage a thought-out purpose behind shooting at range. Basically, what they've done is they've reduced magnetism from the long shot end bar and torque bow by 50%. Increase the maximum charge of a torque bow to basically take longer to charge. Reduce the magnetism of the Lancer by 40%, the snub by 50%. All right, so that all sounds good, doesn't it? Right? That's good. But we're 2 years on and we're still talking about reducing the magnetism. You know why they're probably reducing the magnetism? All the fucking casuals have left. They're all moving on to Halo, Warzone, the new Battlefield and all of that. So they may as well just give the veteran players that are stuck with Gears 5 something, right? That seems to be the way they do it these days. You can't moan at it, but it's just it's taken 2 years, is it, to reduce it? So it's still there, by the way. Haven't turned it off. It's still there. They've just reduced it, and that's meant to all make us rejoice. I'm not saying it's a bad change. I'm just saying, is that meant to be like some hype moment? Because it's not. I told you that day one. People probably could have told you that in the tech test, but they were all busy shilling, doing reaction videos and faces in YouTube. But, you know, I'm sure there were people out there saying the exact same thing, but they were ignored. Some were ignored. Some were told off. Some were ignored again. Some were probably given infractions on the forum for issues. And some of us were permanently suspended from the franchise forever. General updates. Decrease the time for a flashbang to detonate after its first bounce. This basically just means flashbangs are more overpowered. You know, it's not a great thing. I don't care what people say. The flashbang is a crutch for poor balance. Flashbangs need to exist because Lancer setups are so strong. You know, that's the reality. They could have dealt with it in other ways, but they put a flashbang in the game. And increase the delay to melee after shooting. Increase the delay, so there's less shoot melee. I remember telling them on literal day one that shoot melee was obnoxious, and here we are again, still trying to figure out shoot melee. It says, we'll be reading your comments. This is the most hilarious thing, by the way, of the entire thing. We'll be reading your comments, but we need to remind you, like they're a bunch of parents looking over their kids. But we do need to remind you, current development asks for a sharp focus on key aspects of gameplay. So that's basically saying the people above us have said, stop fucking adding shit to the game. Do simple number value changes that are quick, right? That's what they're saying. And if you've got any feedback, don't fucking talk shit and don't discuss other shit that's off topic, but instead talk about mechanics and values, right? Because what they're saying here, which the simpletons can't seem to dissect, is, again, they're saying this. That's a lovely PR way of saying, remember, folks, give us your feedback. What they're actually saying is, hey, the folks above us have fucked off and we're not adding anything to the game. And the current development team are asking just about numbers, things that are quick and easy to fix. No fucking complex shit. No stuff that we're going to have to spend weeks fixing or months fixing. That's done. That's finished. We're fucking gone. So if you're going to do any discussion of the game, keep it to a number value, because that's the only thing we're changing. Which is hilarious, because me and many other people, that's exactly what we're doing, and we were ignored for 2 years. We'd be like, hey, I think the gib range could be this, or I think the Lancer could be this, or hey, I think the magnetism value could be this. Just ignored, but now all of a sudden, yeah, please give us your feedback. No, they don't deserve the feedback, mate. They don't deserve the feedback. So what I've noticed here on Twitter, YouTube, the last few bits and bobs that I occasionally pop onto, I don't follow anybody anymore from Gears or really keep up to it. I don't follow the Gears pages, the main pages or anything. But when I occasionally pop in and have a look out of interest, I see a lot of people saying like, they're like snapping, you know. I've done a few videos on my channel of like community members, quote, snapping. And people are saying like they're tweeting at the coalition, you've ruined the game's shit now, can't believe you've done this and that. And I want to know, what are you talking about? That's what I want to know. If you've been happy this whole time because you've never said anything on your YouTube pages, you don't tweet, you don't get annoyed about it on stream, you don't stick your neck out, you just go along and enjoy the ride. Now all of a sudden, matchmaking is an issue, ping is an issue, no ranked MMR is an issue, content suddenly an issue. But the reality is that Gears 5 now, it's got more in it and it's had more updates than when you were last happily playing the game. So technically, you should be more happy. It should be a better game, right? But now you're moaning. It's too little too late. It's too little too late. It's just, it's kind of just laughable, really, that it's like now people are snapping. You know, it's, what are you on about? And then you've also got the flip side of the coin of people being like, you know what, I can use this as an opportunity to build some hype. I can say that the movement's back. I can do movement videos. I can do exciting Gears 5 change, etc., etc. You can do all of that, right? That's how people do it. They work, they wheedle, they grift. But the fact is, it's not been a good Gears game, has it? Right? It's not been a good Gears game. It's not been well managed. And I'm pretty sure that when this game started, they were like, we want years of content. It's a live service game. And they've soon realized that they've fucked it and they've had to get off the train and move on. Isn't it? That's the truth. So that's your final update to Gears 5. That's all the content you get in, apart from, you know, the odd minuscule bits. The community might listen to a few number changes. But it's ridiculous, isn't it? In fact, no, it's not ridiculous. That's the ridiculous part. It's actually totally realistic. Because I called it on day one. This is exactly how it was going to go. And it did. I'm not always right, but I'm pretty sure I was in this scenario. It could have gone differently. It could have gone differently. It could have been brilliant. I could have been wrong. I'd have held my hand up and say, yeah, I got that wrong, man. Like, you've really turned this around. Like I did during the early days of Gears 5. Operation 1 and 2 had good changes. There was good changes in there. The Tour of Duty 3 came out and the game was in a pretty good state. We had a bit of a rocky patch. And then 4.11 came out with a shotgun and it was going really good. And then it just went all downhill after that. We had like 10 bullets added to the Lancer. The magnetism came back. The speed came back. The lag came back. Poor decisions came back. Got managed by new people in the community. It got worse. People got banned, suspended, told to shut up. They weren't allowed to say anything in developer streams. There was less developer streams. Then there was suddenly no developer streams. Then people were getting kicked off and fired and joining COD. It all just went massively wrong. That's really what it is. You could say it's unbelievable, but it's just not. It's Gears 5. And that's really all you've got to say. So anyway, I hope you enjoy Control. I hope you enjoy no MMR. I hope you enjoy no ranking system. I hope you enjoy playing cross-server on the wrong ping. I hope you enjoy voting for dog shit maps with dog shit characters with paid skins. What more can I say?